we go. Get it loose. Get it loose. Get it loose. Come on, fire it up. Fire it up. Stay here. Good. Set. Go. Stay here. Push a little deeper for me. There we go.
When you have an opponent like you have to start the season, does that make training camp easier for you to motivate the players?
I believe so, yeah. When you're playing somebody of their caliber, I think our guys realize their standard, and so just even through our off season or summer, there's just been a little bit more excitement, probably the most excitement since our first year being here, as far as the first game of the year. So I'm looking forward to us getting after it and sort of seeing how long that excitement lasts. But the main thing is, we talked a lot about is we can't make that game bigger than what it is. It's still one game. It's a big one, but it's just still one among 10 other ones that we have. So we're as a coaching staff, we got to make sure we do a good job of not building it up too much.
To play in the Fargo Dome, to play against the 5-time defending national champs, do you see it and do you preach to them this is where Charleston Southern is? They respect you to put you in this game on national TV to open up the season?
Well, we just talked about that our team has earned the right to be in that game. And, 3 years ago that would have been, everybody laughed at it, but because of what they've done over the 3 years and putting our program into where we're at, being a top 10 program, they've earned that. And so we're going to enjoy it. What we talked about is, hey, you enjoy that, you've earned that, so we're going to enjoy the spoils of the victory, so to speak. But also, don't let it go to our heads. That's the challenge when you're dealing with teenagers.
For you guys, having left Jacksonville, Alabama with a tough loss, but you went that far, do you take confidence from the fact that you went that far, or do you use it as motivation that, hey, we came up 2 steps short of the ultimate goal?
Well, I think it's a little both. You have confidence that, they were national champion runner-up, and you played pretty well with them. And so you feel like, hey, we're not far away from some of the best in the country. But then, too, you look at it on the other hand, you never know if you ever get there again. You're never guaranteed to go that far, and so it was a little disappointment. And so for us, I think we look at it as a couple ways. One, hey, we got some confidence we can play, but we didn't get the job done. And two, like I'll use our defense. Our defense was unbelievable all year. Gave up 600-plus yards in a game. So their last time out there was not their best, and so I'm hoping that we'll use some of those motivations to carry us forward this year.
Biggest question marks during camp?
Depth at offensive line. And who's going to be trigger man?
Do you feel like, though, that there's a way or a different way to motivate these guys? It used to be kind of easy, I would think, just coming in with the lack of respect that the program's received. Well, now when you won a conference championship, when you made the national quarterfinals, when you're starting the season out in a nationally televised game, are there different ways that you have to motivate your players now when it comes to performing at a high level, and you can't really use the disrespect card anymore?
Well, that'll be obviously a unique one, because we have, for at least the time I've been, and really for a long time, fighting for some type of respect here, and at least on the outside or among our conference, you feel like you have it. So I can't go to that well again, but I think the thing that this team and we've tried to realize is you had 1 year. You had all those pretty good years, but only 1 year if you have anything to show for it. And so there's a lot of one-hit wonders out there. One of my favorites, Ice Ice Baby. I can sing him right now. He's a one-hit wonder. People remember him, but they remember him for not finishing and sort of being a flash in the pan. So we talk a lot about that. Is to be a great team, you can have a good year. To be a great program, you need to show consistency, and especially now that you're supposed to be the team. That's when it happens.
You don't remember Stop That Train by Vanellope as well?
Didn't he play the funky music? Didn't he do a replay of that one?
He also did some of the Ninja Turtles, too.
Yeah, so.
How much of your training this camp is on Charleston Southern? How much do you look at North Dakota, or North Dakota State, do you wait till the last week to do that? How do you kind of balance this? And if you look at them on tape, how good are they?
Well, you're allowed 29 practices before your first game, so we usually go 27. So 18 of those will be for Charleston Southern. So we'll go 18 of our practices will all be geared for us, getting ready for the season, and then the last 9 will be geared toward North Dakota State. As far as what they've got coming back, minus the quarterback, obviously he was a pretty exceptional player. They got 9 starters on defense, 2 All-Americans, and then on offense they've got I think everybody but one offensive lineman and most of their skill guys coming. So they're extremely talented. You watch them on video and you see why they've won. They're good at what they do. They don't hide what they do. They come at you and they hit you in the mouth. And then from looking at you can't hear noise, but that Fargo Dome looks like it's pretty loud and crazy. So, I mean, great challenge for us, but also a great opportunity to see sort of where we're at.
Can you just kind of talk about, going into camp as the projected starter? I mean, this a lot of responsibility, and you've kind of waited for your opportunity. Talk about your summer preparation and what this means.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, I've had a lot of really good guys ahead of me to learn from. First Malcolm Dixon and then Danny Krogan and Austin Brown. So I've had a lot of really good players ahead of me that mentored me and I learned from. So, this summer I just try to do the same for the young guys and take my game to the next level and just focus on the little things and, just grow in that.
Coach said that a lot of it is going to come down to what's between your ears as opposed to your physical skills. He's confident in that.
Yes, sir.
So how do you improve that side of things?
Yeah, I know and understand that. We've talked about that several times, and I just spent a lot of extra time this summer in the playbook, on the film, seeing the whys of everything and, the if-thens, if this happens, then we want to do this, and just trying to get a full grasp of what I'm supposed to do and what everyone's supposed to do so that I'm not thinking out there, I'm just playing.
You've played in a lot of big-time atmospheres. You've gotten time in those big games. How much does that help you in Game 1?
I think it helps a lot just because, it kind of calms the nerves down. You've been there before. But at the end of the day, when the football gets kicked off, it's the same thing. It's football as usual, and you just have to go out there and perform because if you don't perform, you're not doing anybody any favors.
Training camp can be tough physically, emotionally, mentally, but do you feel like having North Dakota State as the team that you're preparing for first will help you get through some of these rough spots in training camp and kind of keep the energy up?
We have a really good group of guys that understand what we're trying to accomplish and what we want to do. I think that might be an added benefit, but I think overall, regardless of who it might be, we're going to show up every day to work to prepare because we understand what's at stake this year and what we want to accomplish.
You went through the summer with your guys and with no coaches, just you guys. What do you see in terms of the chemistry of this group, and how excited are you about today?
I mean, you work all summer, so 2-3 months for this one day, so that that's always exciting. And the question about the summer, we've ran 7-on-7s 2-3 times a week. We've done mesh with the running backs 2 or 3 times a week. A lot of extra work on the field, just position groups and whatnot. A lot of film study. So the overall mesh of the guys at this point, I think, is ahead of what we've been in the past. We've been really good in that area in the past, but I say right now we're ahead of schedule, but we still have a lot of work to do in that to get ready for August 27th.
And the pressure of being the quarterback is a little easier here, maybe because of who's behind you with Darius and Holloway.
That never hurts. You
got some studs back there.
Yes, sir. You're right. Never hurts when you got 3 or 4 guys back there you can hand the ball to and know they're going to make a play for you. And then, with that being said, you got great offensive line. You got guys like Kevin. I mean, not Kevin anymore, but Larry, Colton, Kenny. And Jeffrey Wall thinks to be good for us, and you got a lot of other young guys that's going to be really good players for us. So, I understand that it's not my job to go out there and make every play. Just get the ball in the guys' hands that, playmakers.
Mm-hmm. As far as motivation is concerned, you guys have respect now around the country and within the conference. So that's not going to be something that I would imagine is not going to fire you up. So what will fire you guys up now, as opposed to trying to be the underdog or playing the disrespect card?
I'm just winning. You play the game to win, so it doesn't have to be about respect. It's just we work so hard to win ball games and to get where we want to be nationally, and I don't think we're there yet. I mean, we want to win a national championship, and everybody in the locker room will tell you that. So we have a long way to go to get to that level. So every day, that's what we're working towards. We're getting better every single day, so we can get to that level.
For you guys to make the run in the playoffs, does it give you a little more motivation that you came up a little short of that ultimate goal, or do it give you a little more confidence that, hey, we could really make a run in this thing?
Yeah, man, speaking about playoffs, it gave me chills just losing 58-38. That's something big, and I know a lot of people in senior class will never forget it. People that went through it will never forget it, and it gives us motivation. We know what it tastes like now, so it's like we want to go back and get some more of it. But like I said, we're not focused on where we're going to be. we're going to focus on day by day and just go after it day by day.
Starting out at the Fargo Dome, it's not an FBS atmosphere, but it's as close as you're going to get. I mean, how do you guys kind of look at that game?
Man, it's another game for me. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be loud, so we got to do things to, I guess, figure out for what it's going to be, what it's going to be like. But, I mean, it's just another game. I've heard it's louder than some games we played in, big FBS schools we played. But like I said, it's just another game. We're going to prepare like it's another game. We know what's at stake. It's a big. We get TV time. First college football game. 5-time national championship. It's going to be publicized. It's going to be big. But if we, like I said earlier, if we like sulk in all this publicity and stuff, it's not going to help us as a team. So we just got to focus day by day on what we're doing as a team to get better. And I honestly believe once we do that, we're going to come out with a W.
Do you think having an opponent like that, though, to have that in front of you over these next few weeks of training camp helps training camp?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We start early, August 27th. That's, 26 days away, counting it down. So it gives you a chip because you just want to strive for perfection. First day of camp, you want to strive for perfection just so we know what perfection feels like later on down the road, and we can just keep going and keep going and keep getting better. So, and I'm not clueless to think that everything's going to be perfect first day of camp. It's first day of camp. But it definitely, like I was talking about with the chip, it gives you a chip. First game of college football, big game, like any game. If you're a football player and you don't get chills, you don't get excited about playing the first game, ESPN, you don't get excited about just football in general, there's something wrong. So that's what I was saying with the chip. We're going to have motivation, and that's a big motivation to play.
But the excitement building up to day one of fall camp, knowing what's ahead of y'all the next couple of weeks, kind of talk about what it's like to.
Well, yeah, the rain's definitely anticlimactic. Pretty pumped to get out here, kind of just put the rubber to the road. It seems like we've been doing a lot of stuff almost, I don't want to say not football, but, strength and conditioning wise, and, we're ready to get out there on the field. But more so than anything, I think from a defensive standpoint, we're ready to get out there and get in pads, Been walling up a lot of pent-up anger, so, ready to take it out. But overall as a group, yeah, we're ready to get out there. Hopefully tonight. We'll see.
Do you think it'll help throughout training camp over these next few weeks to have North Dakota State as kind of the reward for the payoff of going through training camp and all that kind of stuff versus maybe another opponent that you could have opened up with?
Right. I should say no. But yes. We are riled up. We got a bunch of kids who are ready to go up to that dome and just make a name for ourselves, really. Because they give us all the preseason accolades, but we don't really look at that. The way we look at it is people still don't give us that respect we deserve, and we're still fighting for that. And I want to, as a captain, as a leader on this team, I want to make sure and push the guys that we have that chip, just that the older guys that are around, that we still carry that same persona that the people before us, the 0-11 teams, carried. And they said before we had anything, before we had this field house. So that's what we're really, more than anything, more than our opponent, we're just worrying about that respect, playing with that chip on our shoulder.
When you look at them, you go, at least they don't have Carson Wentz anymore?
Yeah, definitely. Hey, you watch film with that guy, and the kid's a stud. So, yeah, it's definitely a plus. But backup's a stud, too. So, there's it's not a big fallout, but, yeah, I'm glad to not see him. I'll say that.
Kyle mentioned something as far as, you've mentioned the chip, that winning, the desire to keep winning, to stay on top. Teams like Alabama and Florida State and now Clemson, they've used that when they've been on top. Is that something you guys have to learn with? You still say you're trying to maybe use the disrespect factor, but within the conference, there's no disrespect. You guys are the favorites. You guys are the top team in the Low Country as well. So what do you use then to motivate if it might not be the disrespect card?
Well, that might be an offensive standpoint, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't think we've just acquired that. We had a meeting today defensively, and coach is telling us all the numbers that he's throwing at us, 580-some odd yards. He's just throwing these numbers, and he's like, can you guess what this is? This is Jacksonville State, And that's the last thing that we have to go off of. When people see us, they see Jacksonville State, and that was on television for everybody to see, so we play with that in the back of our minds. So, I guess maybe for his perspective, it's that winning, but we kind of have that in the back of our mind.
What are some of the pressures of building on from the season before into this year?
I guess more so it would be for the younger guys, because I think the older guys, we've seen what it looks like to grow complacent. And even my second year, the year I think we might have went 9-3, let's see, you could still see some complacency coming off a great year. So we've kind of experienced that, but our job as older classmen is to influence them, to let them know, push them in practice, hey, we've done nothing. We haven't arrived. Run to the ball, things like this. So I put that more so, even more so than the coaches, it's the upperclassmen to step up and lead.
To be a coach someday? Is that what you're?
I'm not.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you. Do you have a lot of coach in you? It sounds like. Is that what you want to do after?
I'm actually planning on getting in the ministry after.
Really?
Yes, sir. I've had a couple of the coaches ask me about coaching, and I told them I spent 16 years with football. I'm kind of ready for a break, man, and I'm just so excited what the Lord's going to do just through me and just where He's taking me. So I'm just really excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Feeds off that, but talking to Bullitt yesterday, said some of the seniors and past years have been a little more quiet. Not the case this year. I figured you were probably one of those people. Do you sense that too?
Right, yeah, I do. I haven't even thought about that, but that is a good point. We've had a lot of kind of by their actions leaders, the Malcolm Jacksons, just hard workers, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, 20, stud running back, Christian Reyes, Christian Reyes. These kids their work ethic alone. But, we do have some seniors this year who are just very vocal in what they do, and I think defensively it pays off because people feed off that energy. You look at the Ray Lewises, the Ed Reeds. People feed off that, and that's really good. So I'm looking forward to that. But I also still believe we have a ton of guys. Michael Holloway doesn't say much, but one of the hardest workers I've seen. So, we still have a combination of both.